fancy intro. Cha-cha-cha. Welcome back, everybody. jtxdesertrat here, and today we have something a little different for you. Normally I don't go in for this kind of thing, but I really enjoy this mod and I thought it would be a good addition. It is solar power. Solar power from EnderIO. And I just thought it would be a nice one to get out there and let people know exactly how it worked. So we're going to jump right into it. Now, what solar power is you take these cells, these photovoltaic cells, and if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize, and you create solar power. So it's a clean source of energy, it's a clean source of fuel. You don't need to use coal, and this is for use with any of your machinery that might require some power. But we'll go ahead and start out on the first one. This is the least one, and you don't get a lot of power from this. I can't say that I would recommend using this one right off the bat, but it is a good place to get started. It is a good one to build just to see how everything works out on. But this is the photovoltaic cell. Now the photovoltaic cell, as you can see here, will give you up to 10 RF. Now it's not that high and it's not really that good, but nonetheless it does work and it can get you some energy. Now if we look here, you need 2 energetic alloy, you need 2 quartz glass in the center, you need a vibrant alloy on each side. Now the vibrant alloy is a little bit expensive, and then you need a basic capacitor on each end and a daylight sensor, and this will give you a photovoltaic cell. Now the photovoltaic cell is orange or yellow. I have some colorblind issues, so if I'm a little wrong on that, apologize. But this is it, and you can take it and place it. Now I'm using an energy conduit here to show you how the power goes from the cell down into the capacitor I have for it, but you can place it straight on a capacitor or straight on the equipment that you want to use it on, just like this, and it will work that way as well. The reason I'm showing you with the conduit is so you can see that you can put it on top of your house and then pipe the energy down to where you need it to go. In this case, I'm sending it to a capacitor, which I would highly recommend because it stores the energy, the RF energy that you get from the solar cell, and allows you to save it so that at night your energy is stored up in here and you can still use it. Now of course during the daytime it can go straight to whatever object it is or machine it is that you're powering. And an example here is this takes 10,000 RF to fill up, and it's already filled up. This is filled up just from the capacitor there that's only getting its energy from the solar cell, and it's a furnace. So I pop some gold ore in there and bam, there we go. We got us a gold ingot, and that gold ingot came from not using any coal, anything like that, just pure solar energy, pure clean energy. We didn't have to get any resources to make it happen. Now you do have to gather resources initially to get it started, but once you've gathered those resources, it's an unlimited supply of free energy. And how can you beat that? I don't care if it isn't a very good energy producer, it's still free energy, and you don't have to go mining coal. You don't have to build you a big reactor to get your energy, which you would have to keep mining in order to get fuel for. So it's a nice way to get some free energy. Now this one, as I was saying before, is 10 RF. The conduit, the energy conduit I'm using here, can transfer 640 RF per tick through it. So this is the lowest conduit that there is, and more than enough. It could handle you know, 10 times what I've got on it with this cell. Okay, there we go. It was getting dark, so I had to reset the time to day there. But as I was saying, it sends you energy through the conduit. You can store it up, you can use it even at night when there is no solar power, because it will store it. Now the only thing is you want a good amount to store up, because right now it's going at 7 RF per tick, or when it's maxed out at 10 RF per tick, it's not going to be giving you that much energy. So you're going to want a lot of these. And it's pretty expensive to make them. So you might want to just go ahead and look at something like this. Now this is another photovoltaic cell, and this is the advanced photovoltaic cell, and it produces 40 RF per tick. As you can see here, it's at 32 now. We got our sun coming up. When our sun hits midday, everything will be at 100%. So it's just like in real life. As the sun rises, it will get stronger and stronger until it hits its maximum 40 RF. And as well, it's going into the capacitor. As you can see there right now, we have 34 RF per tick going into the capacitor, whereas over here we only have 8 RF per tick. So this will give you quite a bit more energy and allow you to store it when you do make you a capacitor. And same holds true here. Fills up your furnace or whatever other equipment you're using, and bam, look at that, free energy to produce whatever it is we needed. And not just with furnaces, with any device you have that runs off energy. Now the difference with this one is the pulsating iron. You're going to need pulsating iron here instead of energetic alloy, and you still use the vibrant alloy. Now up here you use enlightened fused quartz. Let's see, what was it over here? We had quartz glass. Okay, so everything's a little more expensive over here. Other than the vibrant alloy and the daylight sensor is still the same. But here you have to use enlightened fused quartz, you have to use pulsating iron, and here is the double layer capacitor. Now I'm not going to show you how to make each of these items because that would take too long, but you can look that up, and I will tell you that the basic capacitor, it's basically 2 of those to make, of course, the double layer capacitor. Now once you get this built and get everything set up, you'll be pulling a little bit better than you would have with the regular photovoltaic cell, and it stores more. So that's a plus. Now if you see here, we're using the enhanced energy conduit, which has a max of 5,120 RF per tick. So that is way more than your energy conduit, regular energy conduit, which has 640 RF per tick. So I would highly recommend going this route. I wouldn't even start with these, to be honest, myself. I mean, it's good to look at, to maybe make your first one just to practice or try it out, but they're kind of useless in the long run. So I wouldn't even deal with the basic photovoltaic cell. I would jump straight into the advanced as soon as you can. So I would save up and wait until I could do this, and that way you can make several of these, and they're really good. Get all your equipment there, and once again, free energy. Now it's expensive to make. Yes, it's expensive to make, but once you've made it, that's it forever, for all time. You never have to invest anything else in it. It's there, and it's giving you free power from now until eternity. You don't have to worry about mining anything, doing anything like that. So it's basically like never having to mine for coal again. And not just coal, when I was saying earlier, when you get into reactor, say if you have a reactor and whatnot that you're trying to get power for, and say the big reactors that use yellorium, things like that, you still have to mine for it, you still have to get the fuel, and that comes at a price. You know, you're going to invest time in it. With this, it's make it, bam, stick it up there. Now to the end of time, it's pulling you some free energy. Now over here, the last one, this is the vibrant photovoltaic cell. Now with the vibrant photovoltaic cell, it pulls 160 RF. So let's look at that again. We've got 40 RF here, we've got 10 RF here. Over here we have 160 RF. While still not on par with your reactors and things like that, if you've got a dozen of these bad boys out there, you're producing 1,000 RF per tick. That's going to cover a lot of energy, And as I said before, very expensive to make. This one is the most expensive at all. It's time consuming and it's a pain in the backside. But once you get it made, you've got that free energy from now on. And me personally, I'd build reactors. If I'm in a mod pack and it has reactors in there, I'll build a reactor and I keep it there only for emergency uses. I click it on if something's happening, or if I happen to have a build where I need to pull that much power, and then I immediately turn it off, and I fall back on my solar panels because they store so much energy. And look at that, right now it's going at 149 RF per tick. It's filling up that capacitor with, if you can imagine, a dozen of them on there. It's going to be filling it up super fast, and the sun looking pretty good up there. And then you don't have to worry about your power. Once again, drop that in there, bam. Now if we had some upgrades in there, this would fly. If I had put some upgrades, I should have thought to have done that, but this would fly through here, and it burns so fast, so good, all clean energy. Hey pig, did you want to come check it out? Are you interested in these? Really? Well, I'm glad you're into clean energy, and just let me know if you want to purchase anything, and come back to me, and we'll get you settled, okay? All right. Now, if we look in here, we've got the solarium. That's going to be your first item. Now, this is more mid-game stuff. When I was saying this was expensive, I meant it. To make the solarium, it's not expensive. You actually have to have a couple of more items to be able to, machines in fact, to build the solarium, to get it. So it's going to be mid-game or even towards end-game items here, because this stuff is really expensive. And you need dark fused quartz. You also need an ender crystal. Now to do this, once again, you're going to have some other items, some other machines to help you make this. And the most expensive capacitors out there, the octadic capacitors, not easy. All of this is rough. And one of the reasons I was saying just to bypass this one and jump straight into the advanced is because when you get to this point, you're going to need 3 advanced photovoltaic cells just to make your one vibrant photovoltaic cell. Oh, that's tough to say. Now, once you get it though, once you got this bad boy down, that's 160 RF. 160 RF. So like I said, you put a dozen of them up, bam, you can pull enough power to run almost anything. So if you are interested in solar power, I highly recommend the EnderIO photovoltaic cells. You can get them, you can set them up just like these over here, straight on the machines, or you can use some conduits, run it to wherever you want in your house. You can run it down, all the way down to bedrock if you need to using these. And we didn't look at this one, max 20,000, or maybe we did, I don't know. But this is the Ender energy conduit, and it pulls 20,000. So that's amazing. You can run so much power through these. And in fact, I tell you what, I'm going to cut away right quick. I'm going to set up a good solar grid, and we'll hop right back and see how it works. Alright, so here we go. I've set up a comparison just so you could see the difference in these. Now, right here we have our one photovoltaic cell. It's pulling 106 RF right now. We'll max out when the sun gets straight up above at 160. Now over here it would take four of the advanced cells to make the one over here. So yeah, it just shows you that one's that much better, but way more expensive. So it's tough to get these, but once you do, bam, you got a lot of juice. Now in this one, look at this. This is how many cells it would take to make one of these. So the regular cells to make one advanced cell. So you can see what I was talking about. It's much more efficient just to go with this. 160 RF per tick. And if we fly over here, now just putting a 3x3 square of these things out, look at that, 1400 RF per tick. 1400. Look how fast that's filling up. Right now with the sun not at its zenith yet, still coming up, we're already pulling 1200 RF per tick. And look how fast we've already got over 1 million. I set all these up at the same time. If y'all saw over there, was hardly anything in them. Look how fast that's going. So just a few of these, a 3x3 little square, and you can produce massive amounts of energy, and it's all free. A one-time shot with gathering materials, and then it's yours forever. So ladies and gentlemen, is solar power with EnderIO. Now there are a couple of other solar panels with some other mods that I haven't looked at yet. Now there's one for grid power, which I would not recommend. The one for grid power, they have solar and lunar panels, and while it's an interesting concept, I wish they would put lunar panels on this. That would be so amazing. You could have your power flowing in day and night. Would love to see EnderIO do some lunar panels, but as of this time we don't have them. And all this, by the way, is for 1.10. Now I would love to see lunar panels, and it would be great, but I can deal with this because we can store it in capacitors, so that's fantastic. But the other one I was talking about with grid power, they're not too great. I would go straight to water mills or something like that and not even worry about their solar panels, because they're just that bad. They're horrible. But these are wonderful if you use them early game, mid game. They're absolutely fantastic. Now late game, if you've got just too much going on, you can always build you a big reactor and use that reactor to power the immense structures that you build or whatever. But you can always shut those off when you're not using stuff and let your solar power store back up, and all your batteries, all your capacitors, and it's just awesome. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you ended up liking what you saw with the solar power, and if you do, please leave a like. And as always, Joseph, Liam, I love you guys. Everybody, take care.